Oh, it is a great day to be on the Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, Tanguay Along for the Ride podcast, Zoomcast, however you consume this product, because it is the day of the Celtics season opener, which was phenomenal last night. Also honoring the great Bill Russell. My two colleagues were there. Okay, guys, Bob, you were there last night. I was watching it on TV. The number 6 on the floor, to me, I was speechless. So I can't imagine what it was like to be there.
Well, you can't take it. You can't see it. It doesn't show up well in person. First of all, it's a TV made for TV effect. Okay, that's what I'm just saying.
Right.
When I watched the exhibition the other night, I saw it. When I was sitting in my seat last night, my daughter was with me, and I said, "It's there. Look, you got to look." All right. Anyway, it's a great idea. It shows up great on TV. It was whoever orchestrated the proceeding. I don't know what member of the Celtic organization or how many. Well, my congratulations, my absolute admiration. They did a really good job. It was a wonderful festive evening, and they did a terrific job. And I salute them all for doing it right. And I would think Jeff would agree. It was they handled the Russell part great.
Yeah, I mean, from Jaylen Brown.
Brown.
From the poet, I can't remember her name.
Oh, that was. Wow, right. She got my attention.
Well, the passion that she had when reciting it was awesome. And then the song, I think it was Aloe Black. That song kind of captured it too. So it had a little bit of everything. And then I thought it was really nice that the Celtics didn't do anything flashy for the pregame.
There was no pregame introduction. Nothing. My daughter said to me on the way out, "Did you notice something different about the game?" And I'm thinking, there were no introductions. There were no stuff at timeouts, no dancing girls, no run, no banners. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was.
Hint. But that's the last time it'll be like that forever. We'll be back to the usual horse shit, when the next home game comes. And all the stuff for the people who really aren't interested in the game, and which of course is about 50% of the crowd, not last night though. They were into it last night.
I think it's just sad that we didn't, on the night when they honored Bill Russell, that Robert Williams didn't take the court, like your current day, your modern day version, Bob.
Yeah, we had we absolutely, the first,
bitter sports writers. You can't let a great moment just live for a second. Cynicism sneaks in, Well, but let's talk about the game, though. So obviously with Russ, and I think, you guys know how I feel. To me, LeBron should say, "I'm not wearing 6. Nobody should wear 6." But that's not going to happen. It was a great night. The Celtics did it right in so many ways. I love the floor. It was phenomenal. But now let's get to this win. Okay, here, guys, because I know it's game 1. I know. But I'm telling you right now, and Jeff, I'm going to start with you on this one. They made a statement. Third quarter, Marcus gets out. Marcus gets into it with Embiid, right? And I thought Marcus was being a little bit of a juvenile on there. That was all on Marcus. But they came out firing, and they blew the Sixers off the floor in the second half. I know it's game 1, but a year ago this time, this team wasn't doing that.
Well, no, you're right. You're right. I agree with all that. But like a statement, I don't know if you're making a statement in game 1 that you beat the Sixers at home. But yes, you're right. A year ago, not at this time, but a year ago, 30 games into the season, think of how frustrated we hated this team. Everybody in Boston hated this team. And I'm finally going to admit something, Bob. I'm finally going to admit something. All right, so for the last 3 years, I've been adamant about saying they should trade Jaylen Brown for Bradley Beal. 3 years ago, I said it. 2 years ago, I said it. Last year at this time, I said it. And now, finally, I'm going to say they should not trade Jaylen Brown for Bradley Beal. That Jaylen Brown is a better overall basketball player on a better contract than Bradley Beal. Jaylen Brown has gotten much better. He was great last night, I thought, in his decision-making. You know, he struggled early he missed some threes, but then I thought he showed maturity. Instead of continuing to jack up threes, he did what he does well, right? He got out in transition. He finished. He got that kind of foul line pull up going, that mid-range pull up. Jaylen Brown, to me, I feel like has established himself as an NBA All-Star now. I do. I think he's one of the top 25 players in the game. And I think now when you put Jayson Tatum, who I think is continuing to mature, and I know we'll get to the technicals, so mature is a different word in his game. His game is continuing to mature. 12 rebounds last night. Doesn't force it, more efficient. And I think he's on a mission this year. I think he's on an absolute mission this year. And he's going to show people that, you know what? You called me soft at the end of the year when it mattered most. I'm going to show that I'm not soft. And I think he was hurt last year, too, at the end.
Well, yeah, we found out, Jeff, due to your reporting, I think it became obvious he was injured to a greater degree than we understood. Bob, go ahead.
Well, we wondered how he was going to react to the scrutiny that he received after the finals, and you know that he underperformed, and we all know, the world knows it, and he heard it. He had to listen to it all summer, and how he was going to react. This was a great question. Yeah, we saw some of it in the exhibitions, but I thought that if he's going to, I'll take that game 81 more times. I'll put out what I'm going to say. I'll take the game that he played. I'll take that from him. I'll take it from the group, of course, you know, but he attacked the rim with and showed his great, I mean, he's such a good athlete. He had a great left-hand finish last night that was not, it was really a 9.2 on a 10 scale. And to mix it up with his outside shooting, they all, but he and Brown and Brogdon and even attacked the rim really well last night. They played an intelligent game. Now, I was the only little dip near the end of the half, and then I got to get to it. What were you thinking, Jeff? There was a murmur where I was, and I was getting ready to, with that lineup that started the fourth quarter and how long it kept them out there. That was right. What was the buzz on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody was kind of scratching their head.
Lineup, Jeff, just what was the lineup for the fourth for the viewers? Bob, what were you? It was
Hauser. It was Hauser, White. It was one starter. The only starter was White.
Okay, fine.
Was it Vonleh?
All right.
It was Vonleh.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
The only starter was White.
Fine.
Well, I think, again, it's hard right now because, you're talking about you can't play Horford big minutes. You're going to make a conscious effort not to do that. So if you can't do that, and Vonleh picked up, he got in foul trouble right away. Now, I give him credit. He gave 20 gutsy, tough minutes. The pride of Haverhill, who's out of the league for a little while, went at Embiid and didn't back down. And I thought, honestly, I thought I thought that was kind of where the game was won to some degree. Embiid had 26 and 15, but it was a hard-fought 26 and 15. And against that front line, to be honest, you'd expect Embiid to go for 40 and 20.
Well, he's had his way with the Celtics over the last 3 years, and that was very encouraging. But anyway, I know how the ebb and flow of an NBA game goes, and I got to see. God knows I've seen enough of them. This is my starting last year. By the way, it's my 59th year of Celtic basketball last night. Wow. Well, October 17th, 1964 was my Old Garden debut. My
first. On Twitter, the tickets.
Yeah, you saw it. I saw you checked in with that. Thank you.
Somebody on Twitter, Jeff, you might have seen it. When somebody on Twitter retweeted it and said, "Can I put that on my iPhone?"
Try to get in with that.
That was funny. I did see that. Anyway, they had a lineup that, and I was going to help. And the lead at one point, the lead had a chance to get down to 5.
Yeah.
They were 8 with the ball. Anyway, it all worked out, and that's fine. So I just thought I'd throw it out there. Now, overall, let's talk about the Brogdon. It was a glimpse of what he's going to bring.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah,
A little bit of everything.
high IQ,
He's
Bob.
a basketball player.
Yeah.
That's what he is, folks. He's a basketball player. He knows how to play this game.
He makes everybody around him better. You know, and he's rusty. You can see it. Like, he had a couple plays right out of the gate where he was loose with the ball. He missed one driving layup. But Malcolm Brogdon is about as solid in every phase of the game, on and off the court, as you're going to find. And Derek White, like high character, locker room guy. I love Grant, except the fact that Grant does not shut up now to the referees.
I'm right.
It's insane. And it doesn't surprise me, because if you know Grant, and I'll give you a story dating back 3 years ago before the pandemic, rookie year, and I know Grant a little bit, and I'm in the locker room, and they tell you, locker room's closed, and the PR people are telling me you got to leave. And Grant is still talking to me. And I'm like, no, yell at him to stop talking. And that's Grant Williams. He can't stop talking. And he means well, but he's got to understand, like, you're the seventh man on a team right now. You can't, and he's trying to explain his case. He's not necessarily always trying to, like, yell and scream and throw his arms up like Tatum used to do when he was younger. But Grant wants to explain how every foul was not a foul. And it's like, Grant, just shut up, or you're never going to get a call in this league. You're a seventh man.
Right.
Yeah. No, it was evident.
But he was good. He was good. The bench. You're never going to see Peyton Pritchard again, are you?
Oh, no. I thought about that.
And we love him, but come on.
Right. You shouldn't see him. You shouldn't see him anymore.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a contender, So, I mean, you know the personalities well, Jeff. How do Marcus and Brogdon get along? How does that work? Is that going to be okay?
Oh, Brogdon, yeah. Like, that's the beauty of Brogdon and to me, Derek White. Like, they just get along with everybody. They're quality, high character. And Grant is too. He gets along with everybody, other than probably some refs who are tired of him. But those three guys are guys that are going to accept their role, and they're going to be great locker room guys. And they're all about winning and team. I talked to Brogdon about it last night, and he doesn't care coming off the bench. He knows he's going to get minutes when they matter. He'll probably be in the game, most games when it's crunch time. And especially now, again, because they got to go small a lot. Their best lineup, really, I mean, again, Horford is probably the best lineup at the 5, but when he's not in there, you probably got to go small, because Noah Vonleh, against certain bigs like Embiid, you got to play him. But against a lot of other bigs, you're not going to have to play Vonleh or Blake Griffin. You honestly might just go with Jayson Tatum a little bit at the 5.
I wouldn't be averse to that. The way the game is now, I wouldn't be. I think you'll see a mix and match of that nature. I was thinking last night, if the NBA were decided on what team had the highest GPA and the most future politicians, the Celtics would go undefeated.
Great. You're right. Brogdon, Grant, Jaylen
Brown.
This episode of the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast is brought to you by LinkedIn. As the sun comes out and small businesses are back in business, LinkedIn Jobs makes it easier to grow your team. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the people you want to interview fast and free. What I love most about LinkedIn is their range. Create a job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Then add your job and the purple hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring, so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience, so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/scribe. That's linkedin.com/scribe to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
I think, listen, and I saw people tweeted it last night. Jayson Tatum has really matured as a person and become more comfortable in his own skin. He was, as media people will tell me, and I've known Jayson since he was a sophomore in high school, so I have a little bit of a different relationship with him, and I can mess around with him and have fun. But people would say, like, he was not a good quote at all when he was younger. Because, again, he was quiet to himself. He was probably scared to talk a little bit. Now he's really come out of his shell and assumed more of a leadership role. And the other thing, guys, we haven't talked about, and we need to, Joe Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla,
yeah.
first win.
So here's the question here, Jeff. Does the coach matter?
Yeah, of course the coach matters.
Well, I mean, is there a difference between he and Ime?
Yes, there's a difference. There's a difference. But it matters because, you look at, again, rotations and how you're going to utilize, Derek White and Brogdon. And if you're going to play small, if you're going to go big against certain teams and which buttons to push. And I think it's more than anything with this group. It's that. It's right now, Joe Mazzulla's got the respect, but wait till they go through a 3-5 game losing streak. And then how does he handle them? And I love Joe. But that's what everybody wants to see.
I learned a long time ago in this league that the best scenario is when there's no question about who should be playing, who's the starter, who's the sixth man, what the role player is. The ideal team, I always thought, had a starting line five that was evident to everyone, and then coming off the bench, a useful two-position player if you had one. Whether it was a 4-5 or a 3-4 or a 2-3, all right, and then then specialist, a rebound specialist, a shooter, a defender, and it ends at 8 and maybe 9, and you don't have to worry about. And the other guys understand why they're there, which is to practice and carry the gym bag, and all right. But the worst scenario and the hardest is the one that Joe Mazzulla has inherited. He's got all kinds of mix and match possibilities and responsibilities during games, and especially without Robert Williams now, and as you said, there was a point last night when indeed, with Horford on the bench already and Vonleh picked up 4, who came in? Grant Williams.
Yeah.
Now you're going small, real small, and it wasn't Griffin, it was Grant Williams, and so this is not an easy. Garrett is going to be a very tricky team to coach, and he's going to be open for second, third, fourth, and fifth guessing from all kinds of people as the season.
But not if not if Tatum and Jaylen Brown go for a combined 70 every night. They'll be okay. Yeah. There won't be much second guessing then, Bob.
I want to talk about one aspect of the game.
Let me interject this observation in for both of you here, and Bob, I'll let you go with this one first.
Yeah.
What I saw last night, and what I've seen this preseason, again, from afar, sitting on my ass, is that there seems to be more of a presence of the players. To Jeff's point, Tatum has matured. Brown, every offseason, God bless Jaylen Brown, because every offseason he comes back better, right? So what I saw last night, and again, it's a small sample size, is I saw a team with some player leadership where, as we all know, the reason why the great coaches were great, Red had Russ. So if he got Russ, he was good. Pop had Duncan. If he had Duncan, he was good. So now I see Tatum and Brown kind of filling that role where it's almost like if those two guys are with the coach, Bob, he's going to be fine. And I see a difference in maturity with this team that I think is going to make it easier for him.
That's the modern NBA. That is the new dynamic that you better, if you're the coach, you better have your best player, or in this case, these two best players on your side. That's just the dynamic. And remember that the very first person I saw quoted in the aftermath of the Udoka news was on the subject of Mazzulla was Jayson Tatum, offering his full endorsement. Love the guy, and respect the guy and all that. And I said, oh, that's good. In this day and age, to get the endorsement from your star, you make a very good point. And I don't think it's exclusive to the Boston Celtics. This is the way the world has evolved, and the NBA to a very large degree. This support of the key.
He's got pros though. Like the great thing about Mazzulla is, again, you've got Al Horford, you've got Malcolm Brogdon, you've got Derek White. Those are 3 of your top 8 right there. They're not complaining about anything. Those guys are going to be as coachable can be. Yeah, Marcus Smart's flammable. He's got but my guess is Mazzulla's got probably a pretty good relationship already with Smart. But he's got to figure out how to handle him and the egos a little bit of Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But really, what you're going to let them go? I mean, what are you going to worry about Tatum and Jaylen Brown all that much for? So I think he walked into a good situation in a way because of the maturity. If he walked into it 2-3 years ago, yeah, Tatum and Jaylen Brown weren't really as mature as they are now. The hard part for Mazzulla is he also walked into expectations without Robert Williams.
Yeah, well, and I just hope people understand that. I talked to Brad the other day, and on the podcast we did for ABCD people, and he's saying, quite frankly, without Robert Williams, they need to tread water and do the very, very best they can, understanding that they're a different team and that he represents something that makes them a great team. And now that's my specific phraseology there, but basically the concept of treading water, that was his. And
if they play 40 games, Bob, if they play 40 games and they go 25-15.
Yeah, I hope right? People, now, so, now that they teased people a little bit last night. It was a wonderful performance. That's great. There's going to be, now they're going to go on the road right away. So let's find out against a good team. I think still a good team, Miami. And, we're not going to find out, but we're going to see a different circumstance. Okay. I got to bring up one thing that jumped out at me and hallelujah. Late in the game, there was a timeout and I'm looking up at the big board with all the, the stats. And what was the biggest lament that we had in the finals as it evolved last year? The finals specifically. What aspect of the game was having us tear? If we had hair to tear out, the
turnovers.
Thank you. Yeah. The turnovers. They had 8 turnovers at that point in the game, very late in the game. 8.
And like I said, Jaylen, listen, you're bringing on Malcolm Brogdon. That helps right unto itself because he doesn't make a lot of unforced errors. And number 2, Jaylen Brown was much better with his decision.
I didn't remember he lost the ball once on a midcourt without pressure. But I don't remember him dribbling into a pack.
Nope, right. He did not.
Right. Now, was the way he continually did against the Warriors. Now, is that a product of how the Warriors guarded him as opposed to the whole
playoffs? If you remember, it wasn't just the Warriors.
Yeah, right.
It was the entire postseason.
I don't remember one time when he dribbled into the pack last night. Now, Philly's transition defense was awful. I'm sure, if I'm guessing that that's Doc's number one lecture today to his guys will be your transition defense. If they're going to play transition defense like that, then they're going to be in trouble. Right. Now, let's have a few words about them because we're going to have to live with them. James Harden looked pretty damn good.
He did.
He looked good. I mean, he got, you realize that was his 76er high, 35?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. He made it look so easy, dude, in a Harden way. 5 out of 9 on threes with that step back. Anyway, he looked good. If you're a Philly fan, that's the one. And the other thing is, and I have been a paid up member, Jeff. I'm not on the board yet, but I'm on the regional board of the Maxey fan club. I love Maxey. I've loved him from the first time I saw him in Kentucky, and he scares me.
He can go.
He's good.
All right. So, what do you think of both of you guys? I've always been a big Embiid guy. Okay, always. Last night, I think frustrated me. I've never been so frustrated watching Joel Embiid as I was last night because
I think I know that he can shoot the 3, but I hate to see it a lot. I still think that if you're a big, you got to get down low, and that's where you can do your most damage. You can get to the foul line. You can wear out the defense. Yeah. If you're making the 3s, and I thought some of his 3s took them out of the game last night. So that's where I get frustrated. I think when you're a big like that, the 3 should be a complementary part of the game.
Well, especially, again, when you're looking across and you're seeing 36-year-old Al Horford and Noah Vonleh, who wasn't in the league, a month ago, and Blake Griffin, who's, let's face it, like he's a shell of what he used to be. Sure. So if I'm Joel, I'm going down and doing some work down there, number one. And my other complaint of Joel, and it's with a lot of NBA players, like he gets so many calls and then he complains about the few he doesn't get. he complains about every one of them, and he's flopping and throwing his body around. And it's like, Joel, man, you're bigger than everybody. Like, just play the game. Just like, it was the first time that I was like, enough. And I say it, people say to me, like, you know, you're getting old now. You're complaining about all these guys that complain throughout the whole game. Every superstar, all they do is bitch and moan to the refs. I just don't remember it ever being this bad, Bob. Do you? Yes.
I've seen some, you know, but no, I think it's yeah. And of course it's exacerbated now because they know there's an option that they want to have implemented, which is the review. And by the way, I want to talk about one play. The review in which the call was rescinded.
Yeah.
And it was obvious because he never touched him.
Right. Horford on.
But the technical that was the result of the call was not rescinded.
They'll appeal that. I would assume the Celtics will appeal that.
I'm saying, wait a minute. Don't you know that there'd be he wouldn't going to bitch if they hadn't blown the call so badly, although he does bitch about everything. So you're right. But anyway, that's all. And yeah, right. They could probably have that.
But we got to wrap this up because we got to move on. But Tatum on his becoming more dramatic or, you know, more present with the officials. Jeff, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Jason's made his bed. I've said this for years. He made his bed with the officials when he was young and unproven. And every call he didn't like, he would throw up his arms. And I think he's actually gotten better overall, for the most part, of not throwing up his arms and instead talking to the officials and not showing them up. But again, I've had several conversations with him over the years about this. And it's crazy because for how even keeled Jayson Tatum is off the court, he said to me, he's like, I can't control myself when it comes to this. It's like the only thing you ever see him get emotional about is with the refs. And I just think, again, you make your bed when you're younger, and it's hard for refs to change their thoughts on some of these players. They have it when they're younger. And again, it's why Giannis gets every call. Why? Because he never complains. Everybody's like, well, why does Giannis get every call? Well, listen, when he was younger, he never complained. So now they give him calls because he honestly, they like him.
It's funny. I got home, flipped on the other game, and within a minute of what I flipped on, there was a moment, and LeBron is LeBron. It was the first thing I saw was LeBron.
It's like, come on, like Luka's brutal. LeBron. I mean, most of the stars are. That's why I respect the ones who don't complain. I always think Chris Paul does it as well as anybody because he doesn't complain. He just goes up to the ref and doesn't shut up, but he does it in a way that at least it's never showing up the official.
Well, to answer you a sort of kind of half answer a question you asked 5 minutes ago, one of the first lines I heard when I started covering the league in 1969 was Oscar Robertson's been in the league 10 years and he's never committed a foul. So it's not. This has been part of the NBA for a long time.
Yeah. It's just. I think it goes to like almost every, not just superstar now. Like I said, it's gone down to the seventh man of the Boston Celtics.
Well, yeah, you're right. Look good, feel good, folks. Athletic Greens going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything. While they taste great, you're going to sleep better. You're going to recover better. Mental clarity. It costs less than $3 a day. It's cheaper than getting all the different supplements yourself. So all you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/hoops. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/hoops to take your ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Okay, so while we continue with the theme of hyperbole, Bob Ryan, statement game by the Warriors last night over the Lakers.
I'm sorry.
I said statement game by the Warriors. Let me say this. I do think that you saw what the problem is. The Lakers have 2 guys. That's it. I mean, the Lakers have 2 guys, LeBron and Anthony Davis. If they gave you numbers, and they still couldn't win.
And their bench is all members of the basketball witness protection program, by the way. I mean, for the most part. I looked at the bottom of the roster today and I said, "Oh, God, really? Who? Okay." Now, first of all, I never for a second had any worries or doubts about Draymond Green and Poole playing together, getting together, doing the right thing. I think that thing, anybody that thought that was going to have a deleterious effect on their play on the court doesn't understand Green, number one, at all, I don't think. And what we're learning about Poole. So they're going to be fine. I want to know, because I didn't see enough of the game. Jeff has been, he's 10 times more knowledgeable about Wiseman. Did you see him, anything? Did you get to see all Jeff? And did you see how he looked or anything about him?
Yeah, I didn't see that much of a game either because I was obviously.
Yeah, you were obviously waiting for Godot to come out and have a press conference.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Wiseman finished 16 minutes. I think he played a lot of garbage time, but he had 8 points and 7 rebounds and a block in 16 minutes. I just think they're going to ease him in. Yeah. And again, Steve Kerr is smart enough to pick his spots with Wiseman, get his confidence up as a young player. And that's the one thing you worry about with Wiseman. He is a sweet kid. He's not a killer by any means in terms of like the killer instinct. He really doesn't have that. So I think Steve Kerr is going to approach him a little bit differently and make sure he's got his confidence. But yeah, you're right. You look at the difference in these teams and look at the bench, right? Like Kendrick Nunn, Austin Reeves was a nice player in college, but undrafted, I think. Matt Ryan, who couldn't get off the bench here in Boston in their second unit last year. And then you go the other way. Jordan Poole, DiVincenzo, Wiseman, Moses Moody, Kuminga, Michael Green, who's been a veteran in the league for a long time, is a big. Like the Warriors are loaded in that second unit and the Lakers have nothing. And even starters, right? Westbrook coming off the bench, I guess. But, Lonnie Walker and Patrick Beverly is your starting backcourt. Like, come on.
Right. No, they're not. They'll be lucky to make the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right.
And God forbid, if either one of the other two.
Okay, when they bring Bronny in, then all
that'll be good.
No, they're not a factor. If either
Which
one
is
of the two
good,
guys,
to me. Listen, to me, it's great for the league that you have to have a team to win. I don't know. I think you guys share my enthusiasm. The fact that last night's game had a lot of ball distribution, and that you see a lot of teams with strong benches. And when you look at a team now, I don't necessarily. Sure, you could look at Milwaukee and you could say, they got the free, but they got this guy. When you look at the Celtics, you could say they got Tatum, but. You look at the Lakers and they go, yeah, they have these two stars, but the basketball, I think right now is so much better. I really do, Bob. I think the quality of the game is better.
No, I mean, it's just the talent, the skilled level is tremendous. But my objection, I want a little more balance. The obsession with threes, cranking threes, always, and not, that's.
Well, that'll never go away. But
I lost that battle.
But I don't think the league now is where you say, okay, well, this team has LeBron, this team has Durant, they're going to meet in the finals.
But there's guys.
It's not happening anymore, which is good for business.
There's guys you want to see play.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with the Lakers too is again, you can accumulate talent, but you need fit, and you need to fit today's game. And LeBron's not a great shooter. We know that. Anthony Davis can make some threes, but that's again not his game anymore. And really never was. He had some moments there. And you go in with again, Westbrook and Pat Beverly. Like those two can't shoot. And Lonnie Walker is a good, talented young player, but also not a shooter. So you've got like almost 5 guys that none of which are known to space the court. Like it's a bad job of putting guys around LeBron.
Right. And then you look at what the team they were playing and it had nothing but,
shooting everywhere.
In addition to Curry and Thompson, Wiggins making threes and Poole to do it. Yeah. I mean, they got it's so anyway, you're right. That's
contagious. What'd you guys make of Westbrook? I think Bob wanted to talk. Westbrook said that he had never come off the bench before. That's why he pulled his hamstring.
Who are you talking about? Who? I don't want to talk about him. Russell Westbrook, I'm bored with. I'm sorry, bored with him.
I mean,
The time
how
to go.
about- hey, how about the fact that once you get older, Russ, you might have to, I know from experience now, hurt my quad 2 weeks ago. It still can barely walk. Like, Russ, you're getting a little older now. Like you might have to take care of your body a little bit different and do some different things, whether you're coming off the bench, whether you're starting, whatever it is, 33, you're not 23 anymore.
That's it. Okay, guys, to put a bow on this, the Celtic uniforms, I don't like them because they remind me of Milwaukee and Kurt Benson, and they remind me of Jack Sikma and the Seattle Sonics. Bob, your thoughts?
I liked them. I thought they were stylish, and I just think that white should be home always, and then that's all sports. I'm sorry, I'm never gonna. But if you're going to have them, I give them a thumbs up. They're okay with me.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. Gives me Paul Pressey memories, so I'm good.
Paul Pressey, that's a better one than Benson.
Sidney Moncrief.
I think that Benson actually has
I happen to like.
Yes.
I happen to like Jack Sikma, so that's okay with me.
Oh, he's a good player. I mean,
Of course you did. Hey, he was a traditional big, a 70s and 80s big.
Unstoppable step back. Let me tell you right now.
You did.
But here's
Except
my
in
thing
the
with
key
you.
moment in the seventh game, Robert Parrish stuffed that. He set that right into the 10th row. Attaboy.
Unis, the Yankees, the Celtics. I don't know. I guess you could say the Giants or the Bears with football. The Canadiens, the Blackhawks and the Bruins. Those uniforms should never change. Like for me, I want the Celtics. I just give me the same white and green.
Everybody's doing it.
I know. But that's
That
my
ship sailed for all of us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
My favorite uniform in sports is still the simple beauty of the Cardinals with the teeter-totter Redbirds on the bat. I love
That's
that.
good. I like the Canadians. Canadians might be my favorite.
Yabs.
Love them. Love them.
Les habitants.
That's it.
Merveilleux.
Au revoir, gentlemen.
Au revoir, messieurs.
Hey, guys.
This episode of the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast is brought to you by Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase.